Do you find yourself getting frustrated by other people's actions? Then let's talk about Mel Robbins. Her book, Let Them, is everywhere these days, and everybody's raving about her Let Them, Let Me framework. It's supposed to be a key to unlocking a life of freedom and ease. And hey, I get it, by the way. I read the book, and there is definitely some good stuff in there. But here's the thing. While I think Let Them has some valuable insights, I'm not quite ready to hand over 5 out of 5 head tilts just yet. In this review, I'm going to share with you what works, what doesn't, and why I'm a bit skeptical of some of Robbins' claims. But before I dive into my review, why is this even a part of the business book review? This book is definitely not a business book. It's a self-help book. So what's the deal? Well, simple. Ask any entrepreneur, and they're going to tell you how taxing owning a business can be on their mental and even their physical health. So if there's a book out there that has the potential to give us clear thoughts when running a company, I'd say it's worth a review. The basic idea is a mantra that she, along with her daughter, developed to reduce frustrations with others and give yourself permission to take action in positive ways. Mel calls it the Let Them, Let Me framework. And she applies it to everything from procrastination to relationships. And I'll admit, by the way, I was hooked at first. But as I delved deeper, a couple of things started bugging me. First, she repeatedly claims her method is backed by science, but she never actually cites any research. And second, she presents the framework as sort of a one-size-fits-all solution, which, let's be honest, is a bit of a stretch. I'm not the oldest and I'm far from the wisest person, but I'm old enough and wise enough to know that there is no such thing as a panacea. So in this review, I'm going to break down the good, the bad, and the questionable. And by the end, you'll have a clear picture on whether or not the Let Them theory lives up to its hype. I'll start by saying I love the book. And I'll likely recommend it to a lot of people. And every once in a while, by the way, you read a book title that seems so profound, you get it right away. And that's what this book did for me. Like I just thought to myself, yep, that's pretty solid advice. Somebody isn't behaving how I would, let them. Someone's driving too slow, let them. Somebody's got 15 items in the 10-item checkout lane, let them. It's simple and it's profound. In fact, it reminded me a lot of the advice from the ancient Stoics, specifically when Marcus Aurelius in his book Meditation said, "It is our power to have no opinion about a thing and not to be disturbed in our soul." I give this book a 3 out of 5 head tilts. It's a good book. And I'll say that it could even be a great book, like 5 out of 5, especially if you're in the wilderness stage of your entrepreneurial journey and the kind of person who easily gets wound up by other people's business. Now, before I share my deep dive critique, I'm going to share first some quotes from the book that really stood out for me. When you stop managing everyone else, you'll realize you have a lot more power than you thought. You've just unknowingly been giving it away. I realized something important. Let Them wasn't about giving in. It was about releasing myself from the control I never had in the first place. When you let the world around you impact your emotional state and peace of mind, you become a prisoner to these external forces. When you say let them, you stop trying to control what someone else is doing. When you say let me, you take responsibility for how you respond to it, which is not always obvious. It takes an extraordinarily mature person to be able to detach from your emotions and want to step into somebody else's shoes. There are 3 factors that I believe make great friendships possible: proximity, timing, and energy. These pillars are the invisible foundation every friendship is built on. So why then only 3 out of 5 head tilts? Because I grew frustrated throughout the book as she consistently overpromised the power of the method in every situation. And she would repeatedly confuse pop psychology for science by referring multiple times to studies have shown or science proves without providing any actual scientific rigor. At best, she would use a Harvard-trained doctor or Harvard faculty as her evidence of proof. But to assume that somebody is credible simply because they're from Harvard is pure halo effect and shortcutting actual research. And here's just one example of her sources of knowledge that she referenced to over and over. His name was Dr. Alok Kanoija. I hope I've said his name correctly, but a quick Google search on this guy reveals that he's had his license to practice medicine reprimanded for undermining the public's confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. And he constantly advertises himself, by the way, as a Harvard-trained doctor, which technically might be accurate, but it's still misleading because he graduated from Tufts School of Medicine and he only did his residency at the Harvard Medical School's Massachusetts General Hospital. Now, I want to be clear. I don't think that her theory is bad. Actually, I like it. But let's call it what it is and stop throwing around phrases like research shows and science proves when it doesn't. To my knowledge, her let them theory has never been scientifically proven or had a peer-reviewed academic paper endorsing her thinking. While I think overall this book can and will help a lot of people, and I believe that I'm a better person because of reading it, and I think you would be as well, I also feel she's setting a great number of people up to just feel worse about their situation in life because the let them theory didn't fix their life. Look, there are a lot of people out there who have real problems, deep-seated trauma, and they need more than 4 words to fix what ails them. And I feel like she didn't put the guardrails in place necessary to make sure that those people don't feel like they're flawed because the let them let me advice didn't get them out of an abusive relationship or quiet their suicidal thoughts. Or maybe even worse, I think the let them theory, by the way, could stoke the flames of a narcissist to justify their own neurosis. Yeah, let them, and let me do whatever I want, right? In this self-obsessed world, we've become a lot less empathetic in society. And in my opinion, the lines between self-care and selfishness have been blurred because of books similar to this. Get the book, read the book, apply the method to areas in your life where it can. And also balance it with some good common sense and give yourself some grace if after you say, let them and let me, you still feel like you need to heal. If you read the book, I hope you can come back and share in the comments the parts that stood out for you so anybody watching this could also benefit from your insights. And by the way, if you've already read this book, I'd be grateful if you share some pushback in the comments, right? Share how it has helped you because listen, I don't want this to be a negative review. I just want people who read it to go into it with their eyes wide open. I did, and I still enjoyed the hell out of the book. Also, by the way, if you enjoy these reviews, I'd be honored if you'd hit the like button and subscribe, so when I have another book review released, you'll be one of the first to know. And if you enjoy these reviews, I think you'd love my business book scorecard. It creates a curated list of the top 10 best business books for you that I'll build after you complete a quick Q&A. The reality is all books can be a 5 out of 5 if you read them at the right time in your business development. Why waste time reading books that don't apply to you? I've already sorted through over 500 business books to share with you the top 10 books that apply directly to you for where you're at on the entrepreneurial journey. It's fast, it's free, and the link is inside the description of this video. All right, until the next review, let's both try a little harder to be a little better. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch that book review. If you liked it, I think you might like this one as well. Check it out.